Okay, so that's what my morning looks like. Not too bad. Here I am. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Dawn, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, did the CDC just say or admit that cruising is safe? So the first statement came out. The CDC says there has been 1,350 cases of COVID on cruise ships since the start of, in the United States, since the start of July until October. So 4 months of data. We have 4 months of data, 1,350 people. Okay, great. That sounds like a fairly low number considering how many people might have cruised. So we looked into how many people have cruised, and in just Galveston, Texas alone, there's been over 150,000 cruisers since July. And if you look at the United States as a whole, it's been 600,000. So over 600,000 people have cruised since July. 1,350 people came down with COVID. And that is, we don't know if that's including the crew members as well or just guests. But let's just assume for now, maybe incorrectly, that that's just guests. If you want to know the actual percentage that is of people who come down with COVID on cruise ships, it's 0.0024%. Not 2%, not 0.2%, 0.002%. That's a pretty safe number, considering cruise lines are supposed to be the epicenter of COVID, right? You're gonna catch it if you go on a cruise. It's rampant. They're petri dishes, everybody. They're petri dishes. No, they're not. And also, if you haven't been on a cruise and you see the protocols in place, you don't know just how safe they are. You don't know how safe they have been keeping people. So I have to admit, I think that is actually a really great number. But what does the CDC think about that number? Well, before I tell you what they think about it, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Really helps the channel out if you want to keep up to date with all the news, the border openings, the cruise ships restarts, the new ships being postponed, cruises canceled, vlogs, tours of the ships, you name it. It'll come up eventually. It doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't sign you up for anything. It just says, hey, here's a new video. Maybe you'd like to watch it. So, oh yes, and before I forget, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so the CDC finally, after that announcement came out of the 1,350 people, they came out the following week and have now come out and said, you know what? Those COVID rules that we put in place, they worked. So they're taking credit for it. Even though the cruise lines have pretty much done what they were going to do anyway, in a lot of cases, maybe the changing of the testing from 3 days to 2 days they wouldn't have wanted to do, but they were instituting testing all along. Norwegian announced they were going to do that right from the beginning. Other cruise lines said the same thing. They said they were going to have a mask policy, they were going to mandate vaccines, and it seems to have worked, right? Tell me where else the infection rate is 0.002, because I know I live in a city right now that seems to be pretty low in cases in Ottawa, and our infection rate is higher than that. So of course we have a lot more people to consider, but yeah, that's a pretty good number. That's a very good sign that going into January 15th you're going to see some changes, and you might see some of these restrictions start to ease as long as things don't start to climb coming in the winter months. And people always say, what does winter have to do with it? Well, It's an air infectious disease, right? And if people are catching colds and they're sneezing and they're coughing more than normal, not to mention more people are indoors in the winter than they are outdoors. More people will go to indoor activities in the winter than go to outdoor activities. They're not sitting on a beach somewhere. They're not partying outdoors by the pool. They're indoors. They're drinking. They're having parties. They're watching football. These things in a closed environment will probably lift the COVID numbers somewhat. But hopefully we have vaccinated enough people, and enough people have already had the disease, that they built up an immunity, and we can go into January and start saying, please, oh please, oh please, let's start, even if it's slowly, to slowly easing those restrictions. Maybe you don't need a PCR test to fly back to Canada. Maybe you don't have to wear a mask in every venue on the ship. Maybe once kids 5 and older are vaccinated, you can open up the masking policy even more. So hopefully a lot of these things are going to happen, but that number to me was a really good number. I know a lot of places came out and were trying to push it as a negative number. Look, 1,350 people. Oh my God. But they never mentioned that, oh yeah, that's out of 600,000 people. So that's a very, very low percentage of people. And that might even include crew members. So the number might even be lower than 0.002%. I think the cruise lines have done a good job. I've been on 7 different ships now, and I have not been worried about my COVID safety once on any of the cruise lines in any of the procedures they were doing. I felt much more protected than I ever do in my own city at home. So I will say yes, CDC, you're right. The safety protocols in place for cruise lines right now are safe, and yes, cruise lines are doing a good job. Maybe stop treating them as a level 4 disaster alert in your websites from now on. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.